So this is my Halloween color combo. What you think? My name is Valencia and this is Balloons in Business. So it's a week before Halloween and I'm going to do a Halloween themed balloon garland. I'm going to be using some non-traditional colors, hot pink, peach, and lime green with the traditional black. I'll be using about 50 or so black, 30 of the lime green, peach, and hot pink, and my electric balloon pump. So you want to be careful not to overinflate the balloons, or else you'll get a very coney looking shape like you're going to see in the video right there. See, that's not a very cute look for a balloon garland. It's much better for the balloons to be more round. So what I like to do is put my hand on the top of the balloon and release air from the bottom and shape it into a round shape, as you can see. And I'm going to make the balloons the same size, or as close as I can get to the same size. And then I'm going to tie the balloons into a pair, or what I like to call a dupe. I prefer to tie the balloons into a pair immediately rather than tie them individually because it's a lot harder to do it that way. It's much better to just tie them in a pair as soon as you blow them up. So the lime green and black balloons are 12 inches and the hot pink and peach balloons are 9 inches. And I'm going to underinflate some of the hot pink and peach balloons to be closer to 5 inches since I couldn't find any 5-inch balloons in those colors. It's much easier to do it with 9-inch balloons. 12-inch balloons are way too big to underinflate to 5 inches. So when putting your balloon garland together, there's a couple different ways that you can do it. You can use fishing line. I like to use the 20-pound because it is strong enough, to hold everything together. Fishing line is nice because it's nice and clear. There's also a couple techniques that you can do. You can cluster the balloons together first. So you take 2 dupes and then you twist them together to make a quad. Then you can take another dupe of balloons and twist them together. And then you can take another dupe and twist them together. And you can do a couple more if you'd like. I'm just going to do this just to show you. And then you can take a 260 those long balloons that you use for making balloon animals. And then you just tie it around one of the balloons inside of the cluster. Just tie it together. Make sure it's tied real tight because these have a tendency to come undone. If you want to, you can tie a second 260 to this one, to the first 260. If you want to make a longer tie, because what you're going to do is you're going to tie the clusters together. And then what you do is just get the string and you're going to tie this cluster to this cluster to get the string, and you're going to tie it around the balloon from the new cluster that you're adding on. Then you're going to grab the string and then you're going to tie it around the balloon from the old cluster. This is the balloon from the old cluster. You're going to add it on, and then you're going to go back down and take the string in a balloon in the new cluster, and then you're going to tie it up. And then once you're done doing that, you just want to make sure it's secure. You're going to tie the string into itself. And there you go. Connected clusters, and you can do that with all of the balloons. So that's one method. The third method is you take your clusters again, and instead of using a 260 balloon, you would use the neck of one of the balloons inside of the cluster. So the tied neck, make sure you find one that's nice and long, and then you would tie it to the neck of a balloon in another cluster. So there's a neck inside this cluster, a neck in this cluster, and then you just tie them together, and that makes for a really tight fit. I would say that this is probably the best method for getting a very tight look. The only thing I'm not a big fan of is I feel like I don't have as much control over the shape of it when I do these tie methods. So today I'm going to be using the fishing line method. For the fishing line method, basically take a dupe and you take your fishing line and you tie the fishing line around the dupe and you make a knot and you double tie for security. Then you would take another dupe, you would place it over the original dupe. You see that? Then you get the fishing line and you wrap it around the balloon from the original dupe, then around the new dupe, then back around the original dupe, and around the new dupe again. So you're making a figure 8. And when you're doing that, you want to pull, not too hard so you won't bust or, bust or pop the balloon, but you want to pull hard so that the balloons can stick together. And so for the original dupe, when you're first starting the garland, you want to put it around each balloon to make sure everything is extra secure. So you put it around this way, you go around again the other dupe, and there. So I'm going to do it one more time to show you. So now we have our base. So when you're putting the new dupe on, the new set of balloons, you're going to go in the opposite direction that you started. So this one started this way. Then I'll put the new one on horizontally. Then I'm going to go back vertically. So the new dupe is going to match the original one vertically. So again, I'm going to take the string. I'm going to go one time around the new. Then take it around the old one here. Then take it around the new again. Then take it around the old one. And I'm going to be pulling in and tightening it up. Pulling in and tightening it up to make sure it's nice and secure. So I'm going to try that again. I know I'm using all black balloons, but... And then you're going to add the new one. Remember, you're going into the opposite direction as the one you did before. So now I'm going back horizontally. I'm going to take the string. I'm going to put it once around the new, around the old, tighten it, pull it once around the new, and once around the old again, and tighten it. And that's how you do a balloon garland using the fishing line. All right?
And have a super fun, sexy time. Super fun, sexy time. Super fun, sexy high. Super fun, sexy time. Elevate it. Elevate it.
A beautiful, cloudy, slightly windy day in Southern California. A welcome change from the heat wave we've been encountering. So right now I'm mapping out where I want to put my balloon garland. I'm going to put it over the archway of the front door, and I'm going to use this light fixture right here to tie the balloon garland to. So I'm just going to use a basic string, ribbon I mean, and I'm going to create a loop in which I'm going to put over the light fixture and then tighten from there so that the balloon garland is pushed up close against the light fixture. And I want to do that so that when the wind comes, because it was pretty windy that day. I want to do that so that the balloon garland will not move too much back and forth with the wind.
And have fun.
See how tight that balloon garland is against that light fixture? That's how you want it to be. And then I also tighten the bottom so that it won't move with the wind as well. I used some 99-cent store hooks, and I put some hooks up against that gray panel on the back of it to hook up at the top. And there you see it. So my balloon garland is pretty thin and basic, so I'm going to add some more balloons to beef it up, and I'm going to use a 260 balloon. I'm going to tie a cluster on each end of the 260. As you can see, I want to make sure you tie it really tight, because those will pop off. I know this from experience. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 260 and I'm going to wrap it around a couple balloons and make sure it's nice and sturdy so that the balloons will stick, and that will thicken up the garland. I especially like to thicken up the garland at the bottom. And I'm also going to add I don't know if that's an 18 or 24 inch, I don't remember. And I have that as a single balloon. You want to be careful when you are attaching the big balloons. You want to wrap that 260 around a few balloons to make that 260 nice and sturdy, because it will flap around because the string is just attached to one balloon. So you want to make sure that 260 is wrapped around those balloons nice and tight so that that balloon isn't flapping around everywhere. And there you go. So here's what it looks like filled in. I added some 18-inch black balloons, one at the top and bottom, and a 24-inch hot pink balloon to add a pop of color to fill in space. I like to have my bottom kind of spread out and big, then it narrows in the center and goes back up a little thick at the top and ends a little bit more narrow. I like that. Normally I like my balloon garlands facing upwards, which it seems like a piece of it fell down right there, so I'll fix that. But anyway, I'm about to add the Halloween decorations, and I'm about to use that. Add that with my low temperature glue gun. Make sure it's low temperature. Hot temperature will pop the balloons. And so once I finish adding the decorations, then I will let you see the final result. Okay. So here is the finished product. I went with a skull and bones and a spider theme. And as I mentioned before, I glued the skulls and the spiders on the balloon garland with my low temperature glue gun. Now the spider webs were particularly tricky because they were sticking to my clothes and hands, so I basically ripped holes in the spider webs and wrapped them around and in between the balloons, and that allowed them to stick to the balloon garland. So here it is. So thank you for tuning into my channel. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw. And I want you guys to all have a happy and safe Halloween. I know this year has been a crazy year, but that shouldn't stop us from celebrating with some bomb decorations. So until the next video, I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bring me